Yeah, YouTube, wagwan, and you seen the title. Today we'll be looking at the top 10 best Super Souls in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. Now, let me just start by saying, this is just purely my opinion and what I believe. So if you don't see a Super Soul that you like using, you know, I'm not saying this top 10 is the only Super Souls you should use, but in my opinion, these are the 10 best that I've seen throughout my years of playing Xenoverse 2. So maybe you're new, you just pick up the game and you're wondering what Super Souls to run. Maybe this video can help you out a bit. And remember, if you like the video, press the like button please. Share it and subscribe if you're new here. And without wasting any more of you guys' time, let's get into the video. One of the most annoying Super Souls out there, right? And it's "you must die by my hand." Now, you've seen it everywhere. Once in the battle, you're gonna always survive on 1 HP of health for a little time. So you fighting somebody and you're gonna deliver the final blow, poof! No, they're gonna survive until a bit of time after the Super Souls runs out. I've cast aside everything for this. Now this is Topo, God of Destruction Super Soul, and always you get 30%, either 30 or 35%. If not, I'll show it on the screen here. This is basically a Super Soul if you're going for the ultimate glass cannon build. Like if you want to spit out insane damage but you're gonna be totally fragile, this is a Super Soul for you, man. I like you better when you're mad. Now this is Goku Black Rose Super Soul, and it reads, when your guard is broken, it shortens the time of your guard break and also it restores ki. So basically, when your stamina broken, it makes your stamina come back a bit faster than normal. And this is the Super Soul that I use on my female margins the most, because as you know, their perk is that they gain back stamina quickly. So if you stack this Super Soul on top of that, your opponent most likely won't be able to kill you in one stamina break before you get back your stamina. Any taller and it would be unnatural. Now this is Frieza Super Soul, and when the battle begins, you get a 5% increase to all attacks. And a bit of time after the battle starts, you get a 15% increase to all of that. Power, a lot power, it's great. Now this is Krillin Super Soul, and it basically always increases your maximum ki and your maximum stamina. So you're gonna always have, if depending on how many investment you have in the ki and stamina, you're gonna basically always have 10 bars of stamina with 10 bars of ki. Now for this tier on the list, I'm actually gonna put 2 Super Souls. So one, they're basically the same thing, except one is if you want more strike, and the other is if you want more ki damage. Now, so the first one looks like I got a little carried away. It's Master Roshi Super Soul, and it reads, when using a Kamehameha, it boosts the Kamehameha by 25%, and it also boosts strike skills by 5%, and you can stack that up to 6 times. So you end up with 5 times 6, you guessed it, a 30% increase to strike. Now this is perfect if you like Kamehameha, you're going for a strike build. Now the other Super Soul is basically the same thing, but instead of strike, it does ki blast damage, and you and this entire planet are as good as space dust. I believe this is the better of the two, because with the first one, of course, you know, Kamehameha is a key super, but so it doesn't benefit from the buff. But this one, Gallic Gun, is a key based super, so it is gonna benefit from the stack. So when you use Gallic Gun, you can stack it up to 6 times and you get a 5% increase. So overall a 30% increase to your key, and so your super Gallic Gun is gonna do insane damage. Now, this is Frieza Super Soul, you irritating little pests, and basically always whenever you use any super attack, you get a 25% increase to the damage you deal. So this Super Soul is all around a very good and just generic awesome Super Soul, but it only works for supers. That's the drawback. This tier on the list is gonna be another 2 Super Souls, but again, it just depends on what you're going for. If you're going for key or you're going for strike, they basically do the same thing. So this is the first for key is God of Destruction Beer Super Soul, and a bit of time after the battle starts, which is about 30 seconds, you get a 25% boost to key blast kills. The alternative to that for strike would be Champa's Super Soul, and it's basically the same thing but strike. So a bit of time after the battle begins, about 30 seconds, you get a 25 increase to strike. Now, thank you Dickin Balls, as I like to call it, is arguably, I know it's just because I love number 1 so much, but this could very much be number 1 on the list. But let me read it. Once when using an ultimate attack, recovers health, recovers ki, recovers stamina. What? So basically, this Super Soul, when you're using an ultimate attack, you regain back all that you lost. I'm sure y'all seen people spam this Super Soul online, because it's you basically have 2 limit bursts for free, and on top of that you get auto health recovery. So this Super Soul, why it's so good, because it's basically 2 limit bursts in one. And you all know how much I hate limit bursts already. Now, the best Super Soul in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 in my opinion is I Think I'm Finally Warmed Up. Now, a bit of time after the battle starts, you get a 10% increase to all attacks, and you get a 15% increase to movement speed. Now, where this shines though is the auto key recovery, and because you're always recovering key, that's why this Super Soul is just built for any build, because any build you're gonna be using, not only do you get the 10% increase, plus you're gonna always be having key. So you just gonna slap this Super Soul on and it works for any build, man. And that's why this Super Soul is best for what I believe is the best transformation in the game, which is Blue Evolved or Super Saiyan Blue. It works perfectly for them. So yeah, without a doubt, this is definitely the best Super Soul in the game, because it's just versatile. You can use it basically for any build.
Boy, I'm a legend, but bound my presence. Don't test me, I'm ready. My drip like Rah Kage. See you and I, we both had nothing in common. I move like Kakashi, I do shit to bro. Let's go, let's go. Young Shinobi from the unknown. Said I gotta show that I'm with it. I got gusto, not tell false. I kill them, we all cut throats. Had to put the work in, show them what the work is. Came up from the bottom, now I'm up though. Ayy, stuck up at the trenches, now I'm on my lit shit. Give me serious one punch, oh, what the fuck, ayy. Pass up the race, gotta show them I'm playing when I amp up the stakes. High like a satellite, we can get a